In this video, we're going to get into the details of our funding distribution formula. Because we'll be talking about numbers, it's in your best interest to put aside any and all distractions and give this your full attention for the few minutes that it'll take you to watch this explanation. As you've already seen, crowdfunding is a well-documented, proven successful procedure for raising both large and small amounts of money to fund your dream projects. And people can raise the needed funds for whatever their hearts desire. Business, church, charity, missions, artistic endeavors, education, pet projects, and more. This is not a loan. There is no repay. You incur no debt. And also, this is not venture capital. Nobody is going to take a piece of your project in exchange for funding it. And while crowdfunding has been proven all over the world with more than 460 platforms in over 16 countries, there are a few drawbacks. Drawbacks that we've completely eliminated with our brilliant and proprietary model. First, there are no company fees, period. Normally there's a fee of anywhere from 3 to 5% of the funds you receive. Not here. 100% of the money raised goes to the projects. Next, we accept any and every worthwhile project. There's no red tape or complicated forms to fill out. And perhaps, most importantly, with other crowdfunding platforms, you alone are responsible for raising all the money yourself. It relies on you and your marketing expertise. Most projects don't do very well because of that. In this short video, you're going to learn how our model is vastly superior to anything that's previously existed. First, it's important to understand our viewpoint and the words we use to describe it. We are a leveraged sharing community. We base our community on 3 very simple but profound truths. Number 1, plant before you harvest. It's a fundamental law of nature. You must first plant seeds before you can expect to harvest a crop. This is blindingly obvious, but it's surprising how many people seem to feel entitled to receive something when they have just not done the work of planting in their fields first. Next, pay it forward. Rather than the idea of pay it back to the one who did you a favor. Pay it forward passes the kindness you received from someone on to others. And last, lead by your own good example. I don't think this one needs any explanation. You first do what you want others to do. That's it. And make no mistake, this goes far beyond mere philosophy or hackneyed cliches. We built a world-class crowdfunding platform that is rooted in these simple, undeniable truths. Here's how it works. There are 2 terms you need to know: direct funding and community funding. Direct funding is where people contribute directly to your project. They do this for 2 reasons. First, they want to help you with your project. And second, they want to become part of our community in order to raise money for their personal projects. When someone directly contributes $200 to your project, 100% of it goes to your project. If we were like other crowdfunding platforms, you'd have a fee come out of it and then be off marketing to find your next donor. That traditional linear model has obviously been effective, as evidenced by the impressive results that ordinary crowdfunding has achieved. And that brings us to the one unmistakable, clear-cut advantage we have over other platforms, which is leverage. Remember, we're a leveraged sharing community. You can choose to share some of your funding with your community. We share some of our funding in order to become qualified to receive funding from the community rather than just trying to do it all by ourselves. Here's how the leveraged sharing portion works. We break our community funding down into manageable financial steps, and there are 3 steps which make up each funding floor. In our platform, there are a total of 7 floors, which translates to 21 steps. Each floor is assigned a specific financial amount or a target. It's your funding goal. Now, once you've achieved each funding goal, your project becomes qualified to receive funding from others who have stepped up to do what you've done. In this diagram, you'll see the funding goal for each of the 7 floors. You'll also see that each of the totals on each floor are made up of 3 smaller financial steps, except the first floor, which has 3 steps and a starting place called the accelerator. You'll notice, for example, that the 3 steps on the second floor are $20, $100, and $200, which totals $320. To make the arithmetic easy, the amounts simply double from the previous floor. The floors are $200, then $320, $640, $1280, $2560, $5120, and $10,240. A truly eye-opening point is that this is a self-funding program. Project managers don't ever need to take any money out of their own pockets to receive funding from this aspect of the program. Program managers can choose to share a portion of the funds they've received with the community to fund each floor. Again, this happens without them ever taking any additional money out of their pockets. For example, when you receive donations from 3 people for $200 each, you've received $600. You can choose to share some of it in order to step up through our system. Sharing $320 from the $600 you received allows you to achieve the funding target of $320 and completing the second floor. That $320 is shared according to this disbursement formula. It's shared between 3 other project managers who immediately preceded you in our community structure. 50%, half, or $160 of that $320 goes to one project manager, and the other half is split equally between 2 other project managers who receive $80 each. The funding distribution formula remains constant throughout all the floors, 50, 25, and 25. As you can start to see, as the financial targets of each floor are reached, the amount of money being dispersed to the project managers can become quite large and very quickly. At the 3rd floor, the $640 is shared among 3 qualifying project managers according to the same formula of 50, 25, and 25. 50% of $640 is $320. That goes to one project manager. 25% is $160, which goes to each of 2 project managers who qualify. Now, if we were to jump up to the 7th floor, the funding goal is a total of $10,240, and once again it's dispersed according to the 50, 25, 25 formula. 50% of $10,240 is $5,120. That goes to one project manager. 25%, or $2560, goes towards the projects of 2 other project managers. So let's say you want to raise $500,000 for your project. That's not a lot of money in this day and age. If you were going to attempt to do it all by yourself with $200 donations, which is what our platform is based on, you'd need 2,500 people to donate $200 each to reach your funding goal of $500,000. Well, what do you estimate your chances are of personally getting 2,500 people to contribute $200 each to you? You'd probably have to make contact with tens or hundreds of thousands of people to achieve those results. With our leveraged platform, it's much more doable. Isn't it much easier to have a handful of people who know you personally, let's say 4 or 5, who've got a business or a charity or a personal project, who would make a donation to your project with the knowledge that they can do the same and raise the monies they need? Remember the 3rd concept we talked about at the beginning, leading by your own good example? Each person who joins our community can show a few of their personal contacts how to raise the money needed for their project. Each of them shows a few, and so on and so on. In pop culture, they talk about videos that go viral. One person likes it and shares it with a few friends, and that happens over and over. Here, we're doing exactly the same thing, but instead of sharing the latest song or funny video, we're sharing the world's most effective method for funding your dream project. When this law of multiplication kicks in, you've got the undeniable force of leverage working for you. And when you look at it from all angles, your total exposure is a maximum of the original $200 you donated to a friend's dream project. As soon as just a single one of your contacts makes a donation to your project, you are whole. Everything from there on out goes towards achieving your financial goals. So there you have it. A brilliant, effective, and proven method of funding any project, big or small, that works on a worldwide platform and can help anyone living anywhere. It's completely affordable to anyone. It is the embodiment of life's most esteemed philosophical principles. It's the golden rule in action, doing for others as you would have them do for you. You help others achieve the funding they need and want for the things that are important to them. And in the process, you and your dreams become fulfilled. Don't you think it's about time? Let's get started together now.